Well, hello and welcome to the first episode. I don't even have a name for this show. But here I am. My name is Christian. And I'm here with my friend Marvin.
Yo, what up?
And we just finished watching... I guess it's an anime.
It's something.
It's called Beheneko, the elf girl's cat is secretly an S-rank monster.
Okay.
Ideally, my first plan was to watch only 4 episodes. But we ended up watching 6.
Because of me.
Because of my friend Marvin here. He was so engrossed. He loved it. Love is too strong of a word, I think.
Gross is definitely a word you use.
Distraught? No, not befuddlement?
Schmeckeldorf.
There we go. So, you know what? I'll open up the floor for my friend here. What are your thoughts after watching 6 episodes of Beheneko?
I'm not really sure how to approach this because I'm not a big isekai guy. As I think I've mentioned this. I really stay away from all that. I stay away from a lot of typical shonen. So this was definitely something very new to me. I was not expecting kind of a degeneracy, but it was a charming degeneracy, if that makes any sense.
At first.
Yes. Okay, so because of me, we went to 6 episodes instead of the 4 that we planned. I was drinking, and I was surprised by the degeneracy, but also kind of by the basic, the other quality, the non-degenerate qualities of the anime. I actually liked the animation; looked fine, like pretty smooth. Yeah. I was surprised; it didn't look like trash in the background.
It was solid.
The world building, it was pretty simple, but it was effective. The characters are cool. I actually like almost all of them. Almost. I'm intrigued. I'm probably a degenerate for saying that, but I'm intrigued, and I don't think that this is actually bad. I don't think this is terrible. I think this is actually entertaining. Mm-hmm. And I was see, the thing for me, I think is I was actually captivated by the non-degenerate parts, and I was like, oh, okay, they're doing a quest, or this person, or the new skill, or whatever, action, and then it boom, drops to degeneracy, and then it's just like, oh yeah, this is a degenerate show.
Alright. My friend here is using the word degenerate quite a lot, so what do we mean by that?
Okay, so
why do we describe this as degenerate? Well, in simplest terms, this anime is pretty much just based around hot anime girls wanting to fuck a cat. straight to the point of that.
Yeah.
And alright. Maybe that just sounds horrible to begin with. It is.
Is it horrible if it's true?
Yes. But I will say, I have a high tolerance for crazy ass shit. I'm a fan of schlocky movies. I've seen some weird ass shit already. So I have high tolerance for this. Doesn't mean I like it, or I accept it, or I condone it. Or what's the word? Condone?
Accepting?
Well,
kind of something
that I accept it. I don't. But I have tolerance for watching art and media around that. Now this one, it's a kind of show. Like, this is definitely meant for a certain type of people that are, let's just say, they're fucking freaks. They're fucking freaks.
Yeah.
It's like, who in the right mind wrote a fucking harem anime? And for those who don't know what harem anime is, it's an anime that revolves around a character in which is surrounded by either a bunch of guys or girls, mostly girls, that want to fuck him. And every episode is based around that. Okay, so this one is based around a cat.
It's a cute cat.
Or, well, technically, it's a human that got reincarnated into a kitty cat that's gonna eventually grow up to be a powerful monster. That's the premise,
A
right?
behemoth, if you will.
A behemoth. And a bunch of girls want to fuck the cat. And it's
How many times have we said that?
that's all we said while we watched the fucking show.
I did say that a ridiculous amount of times while we were watching the show.
We all said it.
You know, if we look at it in hindsight, we've only watched half the show. We haven't watched, how much more cat fucking desires is there gonna be?
And at first, I was able to tolerate that level of fucking weirdness, but we stopped at episode 6, and it kind of left me cold turkey on episode 6. Because I don't know, should we name why? At least for me, why I feel like I probably won't continue watching this.
I think we'll get to that.
Uh-huh.
I think we should start from the beginning on our impressions of the first episode.
Uh-huh.
It kind of opens up with your standard world building of like
A fantasy setting.
fantasy setting. This guy was a knight. He was brave. They don't show what he looks like, right? He didn't show if he was handsome or anything.
He's a silhouette.
It's a silhouette of him getting murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers. And then he's reincarnated.
There's definitely gonna be spoilers, but I don't know if people are gonna even watch this show after what this. But whatever.
Maybe it will make them want to. I'll try and minimize the details as much as I can personally, because I'm not a fan of being the spoiler. But I'll try. But yeah, so he comes back as the as a little kitty cat, but he realizes he's not. Is more than meets the eye. You know, and and then so he ends up realizing that he has abilities to kind of copy other defeated monsters. He I guess eats them, ingests them, but takes a bite out of them, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then he can pick up the powers of a squid or an orc or whatever other monsters in dungeons, you know,
or a tentacle monster,
We'll get to that. And then so then he ends up, and then I guess the other half of the story of the character is there's an elf. She's an elf, right?
Yeah, she's an elf.
She's a cute elf girl. Her name is whatever her name is, and she wants to go dungeon hunting. So she goes and fights goblins and whatever.
There really isn't a big motivation behind it, right?
I still don't know if that's her job or not.
I don't know. She has her own place, I guess. She's part of that adventurers guild.
Do you think she owns the whole townhouse, or is it just the second story?
I don't think it matters.
I mean, if I'm paying for 2 floors.
But yeah, she just ends up in a dungeon somehow.
No, she gets rowed in a boat to the dungeon.
Yeah.
Every day.
Exactly.
By some guy.
Which, it's not important.
It's not important at all. It's just some guy.
So, I guess that's where it kind of leads into this anime where it has some world building. It sets it up. I think it sets it up fairly well.
Yeah.
But it's not very deep, And I don't think that's what it's meant to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's there's throughout the first 4 episodes, there's the constant flashbacks of the main character. What's her name?
Arya. Arya's the elf girl. Girl. They definitely do touch her backstory. Is the flashbacks obviously play into her motivation, which is pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really seem to delve too much onto that because it's the same flashback over and over until maybe the 4th or 5th episode.
Yeah, it's just her town. She's a little girl. Her town's getting attacked by dark elves. It looked
or demons or something.
Yeah, some dark elves, and she apparently gets saved by this other warrior elf, and then later we find out she also got saved by the warrior elf's cat. Magic cat, is that what they call it?
Elemental cat.
Elemental cat. Which apparently that's a reason why she fell in love with cats, which will play into the story.
We think she fell in love. That could be one of the reasons that she fell in love with cats.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so it's pretty standard stuff. Like I said, I'm not familiar, but it feels really bare bone, really basic, and it's fine. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really too special to it. I'm sure if you would take that same plot and story origin, it would probably describe 100 different other animes.
Yeah, it's a very cookie cutter kind of setup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially nowadays, a lot of animes tend to have a very what's the term? Very vanilla fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Same type of monsters. There's always some goblins, some ogres.
There's always some cute blonde girl who has with elf ears who has like magic powers or something.
Yeah, there's always a blonde, cute elf girl. And some anime do it better than others, right? They're able to expand and make interesting characters out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is Beheneko one of them? I will say no. But the story and the fantasy setting, it's relevant enough.
It's fine enough.
It works for the story.
It does.
Which is, what is the story, Marvin?
So the story is that so going back to the cat being reincarnated. So part of I guess this is spoilers too, but so he ends up fighting a really powerful monster. Mm-hmm. And he's not, even with his new skills, he's not powerful enough to beat it. Mm-hmm. So he gets away, but he's really hurt. And then he just happens to collapse right in the same hallway as the girl. Mm-hmm. The girl's starting her day job or whatever it is.
Yeah, her name is Arya.
Arya's mm-hmm. starting her day job. She's looking for trinkets or whatever she does. And she happens to see this dying cat.
Yeah.
So it's so she like takes it home and she feeds it and bandages it and feeds it milk and lets it sleep on her tits.
We forgot to mention the key character. What's defining characteristic of Arya?
Almost like a trope at this point.
She has a huge rack.
Huge is kind of understated.
It's a huge rack. Mm-hmm. And the first scene that they show her, the big old bazungas are popping out of the window.
Oh yeah! Oh no! Wait! She actually gets naked in the first part we see her, right?
Yeah, she's like changing into her armor and stuff like that.
No, she's just putting on her thong.
And that too.
It's not armor.
Which leads into what really this anime is really about. It's not about the story. It's about what is considered fan service. Fan service
and a little bit of shock value / degeneracy.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we'll touch on the degeneracy as we go.
Well, shock value for the ones that don't expect what the hell is this kind
Okay. For veteran fans or fans of like this type of anime, probably not shock value at all. But as a newbie to isekai, it was a bit shocking that I just like, bam, just ass hanging out, boom, ass hanging out, tits hanging out, or whatever. And I was like,
but I wouldn't even consider this as a representative of isekai. Isekai is like a whole mainstream. There's too many to name at this point.
How would we classify this?
I don't know. Maybe there's already an existing term for it, but I will call it lewd anime.
Okay.
Lewd, yeah.
That's kind of loose, but
yeah.
Even in most shonen, there's always some lewdity. I mean, again, this is coming. I'm an old head, but like the first time I saw Bleach, when Yoruichi transformed from her cat mode into her human form, that caught me off guard. I was not expecting this black cat to become this like lady ninja.
Yeah.
And so that's like, again, I was way younger than I am now. But that was like, whoa, that's kind of lewd, and I did not change the channel.
Which I guess is what, maybe going off a little off topic,
come back.
What's it called? It's an important trait, or a very consistent trait in anime, where there's this kind of lewdness behind it. Mm-hmm. Which I guess to like an average viewer that's not used to watching anime or is not very tolerant of that, sees it as a big turnoff for anime, which like a lot of people that are not into it always say that it's weird.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it, it is fucking weird in some certain things, especially with its lewdness.
In certain contexts,
exaggerations.
Like in certain contexts, it makes sense. Like for someone to have less clothing on, or someone get naked or whatever. In others, it's just completely random that doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
So it depends on the anime and the writing. But
we go back to the fan service.
Definitely fan service.
Which is, there's very beautifully drawn women and anime girls that are men there to be for what's entertainment for men, right?
Anime does, obviously, I'm not sure the numbers, but it does seem like it has a very large male fan base that enjoys this type of fan service, which is fair. I get it.
We're just shooting off the hip here.
We really are. I don't know numbers.
Just full observations.
I'm just a guy.
And so there's that. There's already a certain sense of lewdness in regular anime. But
yeah,
why I'm calling this one lewd anime is because it is explicitly for that.
Yeah, if you're here for the story and character development, you're not gonna. There'll be some of that, but not really. It's definitely lewd heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely lewd heavy. It's kind of like in those the idea of like those movies from the 80s that were like made by like these random independent directors where they always have to have like a naked woman in there. A lot of horror movies like Friday 13, there's the sex scene, there's the nudity.
Mm-hmm.
It's all for the fan service, the lewdness, the shock value.
No.
And this anime is explicitly that.
Yeah.
Obviously not as violent as like, those like Friday the 13th or something. But it's explicitly fan service.
Very fan service. Quick shout out to the action. I liked it. Oh, I'm gonna circle. It's not a slight tangent. It was pretty good.
It was good.
I thought it was good. Like, I'm not saying this is blowing my mind and this is the best animation I've ever seen, but for what it was, I was like, okay, that doesn't look bad. Like,
I will say the bar was pretty low.
It was low. Yeah.
I didn't have any high expectations. I guess it is praiseworthy to say that it was solid animation, solid art design. I guess it's a pretty. It is what it needs to be, right?
Yes.
Because the story, the setting, it's all to push you toward the scene in every episode.
The nudity.
The nudity.
That's lewd.
So far, in all 6 episodes, there has been a bath scene.
Wait, didn't the 6th one not have that?
No, it did.
Oh, wait, never mind. Yes.
Hence why we
stop.
Hence why I considering now continuing.
And why my opinion of this dipped a bit.
A bit?
I'm trying to figure out how to say it. A good amount. A good amount then.
Yeah, a good amount.
A good amount.
Well, we kind of alluded to this already, so I guess we could. Well, we're all over the place.
We really are. But
then again, that's pretty much the story. It's like as every episode progressed, they meet a new female character that ends up falling in love with a cat and wants to fuck the cat.
Not every episode. That one guy I think is he's gay, right?
Oh yeah.
That guy doesn't want to fuck the cat.
No, he does not. Actually, okay. So far, there's only been 2 other female characters that want to fuck the cat.
Technically, if we include the girls from episode 5 or 6, I think I don't know if they want to fuck the cat, but they definitely are infatuated with the cat.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? What is the cat's name? We've been referring to the cat the whole time. But
I don't know what his human name is, but his cat name is his master, the big-titted elf girl, names him Tama.
There we go.
Tama. So his feline name is Tama. His human name has been lost to history. But so okay. So I kind of want to bring it back to kind of in order, in chronological order. So we talked about how they met, the fan service, her taking it and putting it on her thong from the first 5 minutes, and then he burrows himself in her cleavage a lot, like every episode.
Dude, that's like his second home, bro.
It's very comfortable.
Like his little cubby.
It really is his cubby. And then and then the way it goes is just she wants to get stronger for insert basic reasons. He really likes her because he helped him, and I guess does he have any actual attraction towards her?
Apart from the scenes.
The showers.
Apart from the bad scenes. No, he's all about being like a brave knight and protecting her because she saved his life. And this is a pretty basic motivation.
It's a very basic, and just to throw it in, he was a knight before he died. Mm-hmm. He died as a adventurer knight.
Yeah, and then reincarnated into
a cat.
A behemoth that looks like a little cat.
A behe-cat.
He's a little baby cat.
Would you say he was a Beheneko?
Yeah, Beheneko, baby cat.
Baby cat, he's cute as hell.
Which kind of brings into the layer of these characters wanting to fuck a kitty cat.
so was it in the first or second episode with the ear thing?
That was the second episode, I believe.
Okay, so the main thing is, if I can expand, move on the episodes, is that we were watching the anime. The first episode was pretty basic. It set up the world, set up the dungeon, introduced a couple characters, a small villain, that one guy who sucks.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of, it was laying the foundation for the anime. And then, spoilers for the second episode, I guess within what, like 30 seconds of the animation starting.
Yeah.
I guess the cat is just trying to be a cat, and he ends up like, I guess, licking the ears of the elf girl.
Yeah, I think he's thanking her for being a friend or something.
Yeah, just being like, being
a good person.
Yeah,
a good elf girl.
He's showing affection for his master.
Yeah.
And then instead of like, oh, being cute, like, everybody else would react, she got super turned on.
Oh yeah, she's fucking soaking.
Mega turned on. She, that like, whoo, that sound effect when like someone's super horny.
Yeah.
And then they get
see that in anime. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe that noise, but that little high pitched sound.
Yeah.
And then she has like the face, and she has the glazed eyes, and she's like clutching her shirt because she wants to like get ravished or something.
Yeah, the blushing and all that.
Yeah. And the little hearts that sometimes pop up on the sides or whatever. So she ends up getting unbelievably turned on by the cat, and she wants to like get ravaged by the cat. and the cat is just like, what, like, whoa, like, yeah. And then sometimes he gets so turned on that he's like, I must calm my little behemoth.
Yeah, and that's when that scene that my friend here has described is when we realize we were watching something pretty fucked up, pretty fucking weird,
kind of weird, yeah,
pretty
like
fucking weird,
I'm
pretty out there.
There's definitely a fan base of anime that enjoys this type of stuff, but it's definitely odd to me.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are all freaking degenerates, all right?
I
don't take it as an insult, because if you're watching this kind of stuff, you accept it as it is.
Man, I don't know for any kayfabe fans out there, but Degeneration X was my thing growing up, man. When they would go up to the top ropes and go suck it with the X over the crotch shot.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying. I called myself a degenerate without realizing what it means, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, at this point, to a certain point, we could be considered that as well.
And me going back, I've seen. I'm an old head, so I've seen things around. I've seen really kind of like explicit scenes or different media or things that may be inappropriate for other people, and it's like, okay, I've seen it. I'm not exactly. I'm desensitized to some of this stuff, so I've been around. So usually it takes something to shock me. Like, oh wow, and I got shocked by this. Like seeing this. Oh no, I forgot. In the first episode, she gets super drunk in the bar, and she just wants the cat to destroy her.
Yeah, starts fondling.
She starts fondling. Oh yeah, she starts like messing with like his lower half of his body.
Yeah, they didn't full on show it. But
no,
they were pretty explicit.
I don't think you can show that, can you?
They were insinuating it a lot.
She wanted to jerk off the cat.
Yeah. Which was already pretty bad, but the second episode with that scene that he described earlier, that was something, man.
Was there a shower? Oh no, there was a shower scene and after he saves her and she's like, they're talking and she's just like hanging out and jumping out of the spa with her tits out.
Yep.
Which, granted, fair enough, you don't put on a shirt to a spa.
I'm telling you, man, there's been a bad scene in every episode.
There really has.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like the whole setting, the story, the characters, it's all revolves around the bad scene.
And the cat.
Yep, and that's what the people that like this kind of stuff is probably into. But, overall, it was enjoyable. And that's where it kind of catches you off guard, because it like continues off in this kind of solid little happy-go-lucky fantasy adventure kind of story. Mm-hmm. And they're, exploring a dungeon or talking about the guild stuff or doing little quests.
Forming a party.
And then just fucking out of nowhere, they fucking go full on explicit. They go hog wild with certain scenes.
Oh, yeah.
When they come across a tentacle monster.
Oh, yeah! I forgot about that one.
So, yeah, they come across a scene they come across the tentacle monster. Which, if you're a little bit familiar with Japanese media Japanese media, degeneracy.
Yeah.
Every time there's tentacles involved in Japanese media, it's usually very sexually explicit, right?
You don't gotta tell me. I watch Food Wars.
So pretty much they come across a tentacle monster, and of course there's a lot of explicit visualization of what those tentacles are going to be used for. And this tentacle obviously spews something that very obviously supposed to be cum, right?
It's a very off-color white
Yeah.
murky substance.
It's supposed to insinuate cum.
But okay, going outside of the cum, is it supposed to be like blood, right? Like is like blood or something from the monster?
I guess.
I can't remember because I can't remember what happened in that scene. I just remember she got covered in cum.
Yeah, the tentacle monster took out all his tentacles and just sprayed the characters down. Except for the cat.
Except for the cat. He covered the two girls in. I think he covered the two girls in cum.
Yeah. Yes. So they're right there is pretty much what we're the kind of things that you're gonna be expecting from this kind of show. It's all meant for this kind of fan service, these kind of degeneracy. But as someone that enjoys watching those kind of movies and stuff like that,
degeneracy.
Yeah, degenerate movies. Like probably some freaks out there probably know of Solo, maybe even Antichrist, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those who know. All right. I will not describe more.
Thank you.
But for those that are going to be going into this, just be aware that it's definitely a lot of that kind of stuff. You're going in it because you find that kind of stuff amusing. Maybe some of you might even be turned on by such things.
Lock your door before you watch it.
Oh yeah, we were discussing this earlier too.
Yeah, so
it's like if you enjoy watching this is definitely the very definition of a guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, up until episode 6.
Up until episode 6. This is something I'm going to say that I did find this entertaining, and I'm not even opposed to keep watching this to a certain point, but I would be ashamed. I think my ancestors would be ashamed if they caught me watching this.
Not even your ancestors, man. Imagine you're watching this shit and then your family walks in your room.
Those are my ancestors. My grandfather walks in. He's like, Mijo! But yeah, so definitely those stuff. If this is what you're into and it's like you like fan service with kind of a decent story and animation,
or you're just curious about some weird ass media,
or you're curious, or you see the cute girl designs and think, okay, fine. Just realize that there's gonna be some like, what the hell am I watching type of moments. Cycling away for a little bit from the degeneracy. I gotta talk about the positive aspects of the anime. I do like the characters. I like the designs. I like the animation. The story is super bare bones. There's like a twist, that's baby twist here and there.
It's well built. Whoever wrote this actually thought out some scenes because we, a lot of times like it doesn't feel like certain things fit or they just kind of leave out things that don't make sense or all that.
Yeah. But
this story was pretty decently well put together.
Yeah, like remember, I'm gonna try and keep it vague, but in episode 4, there's like there's a guy or a villain or an antagonist who shows up, and it's like, we were just kind of thinking out loud, talking to each other, and we're like, he's probably just gonna do this like every other villain. And then he actually put some like thought into his strategy, and is like, okay, I'm gonna attack these people like this. And I'm like, wait, that sounds like something like someone like clever would come up with, not just you'll never defeat me. I'm like, no, it was just like, oh shoot.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it makes you think. It's like just because this show is smut doesn't mean that there is some actual genuine talent or some skill behind it, right?
Cat's butt.
Yeah.
It's definitely smart, but I have to commend the creators, the animators, everybody, the scriptwriters, because it looks like they definitely did put some thought and effort into this, into the show. And actually, like I said, it's the little details that I kind of like. Like, and I love how they actually address, like, I can't remember what episode it was, but I think it was episode 4 when she gets hurt. She gets hurt. And then they have to, like, okay, that's not good.
Find a cure for it.
They find a cure for it, whatever. But instead of just like, I'm just gonna walk around with my base costume crap, level 1 mid stuff, she actually, I don't want that to ever happen again. So guess what? I'm gonna get some armor to protect that because that sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
There was some actual development. It's not like they put her into a freaking tank or their maker took off more clothes. Like they were strategic about it. Yeah, she kind of did take off some more clothes. Yeah. But it was at least like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. I don't know if this is how this genre of anime runs and they just slowly develop it with common sense, but I was very surprised because a lot of animes have like, it feels like really like, no, think about it. For more than 5 seconds, that's not the right choice. Yeah, but this felt like it made kind of sense.
Well, it's like I was pretty impressed. I think it was, episode 2 or 3 when she starts out, the elf girl starts out fighting with two swords.
Oh, yeah, weapons.
And I even commented out loud, it's like, why the fuck is she fighting with 2 swords? It's obviously like, she's like a speed character because that's her defining trait. She's really fast.
Mhm.
It's like it's obvious that the swords are slowing her down. And you know what? They fucking address that. One of her swords gets broken, and then the other character, a cat girl, throws her a dagger, and then she becomes being able to actually use her abilities to her fullest. It's like, well, I'll be damned. They actually took that into account instead of just having her carry around two swords.
Yeah, they progressed it normally because she's like, okay, I'm not really cutting it. I'm not doing as well as I should be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and she asked for help, and the person who doesn't, it's not like, oh, I've never seen that before. Oh no, it was like, okay, try this, and gives her good advice, and then before you realize it, she's like, oh, like this is way better, and then tosses her the other weapon, and then she's like, I'm doing way better. This is more my style. Instead of trying to force these clunky swords, I'm going to use this weapon that suits me better. And the fight scenes were better, and she wasn't getting bodied as much, and it was like, is that actual progression?
It's actual progression.
And I was like, this is smut, but it's smart smut.
Yeah, it is. And the scene that happens right after that is a bat scene.
Oh, fuck my God. I forgot about the bat. Okay.
Where, like, the two characters, when they meet the cat girl, that's a Smith.
She's a Smith.
She's a Smith, and they're taking a bath together with the cat, and they have a talk about a possibility of crossbreeding.
Oh, no, wait, you're mixing up. I think that was episode 3.
Yes, okay. But it is after the bath.
It is after the bath, but I have to preface it with, so the reason that the reason why is I think what they're aiming for is that the girls are all impressed with his strength. So she loves him because he's cute, and I think he saved her one time, right?
I think he saved her many times.
He saved, but the first time, I think he saved her. He saved her, and that emotionally, like, oh, you took care of me, like I want to love you more, or whatever. And then she starts getting super turned on by the cat. Yeah. But then the second girl, the Smith, who's an actual cat girl,
also gets
saved. Like some rocks are falling or something, whatever. And he like deflects and blocks or protects her, whatever. And she does the like blushing thing that all anime girls do.
And I said out loud, I was like, oh. Great. I think she's gonna want to fuck the cat.
Yeah, and then we actually I missed it, and then you rewinded it, and then she like, oh, she got all like water-eyed and blushy, and like, oh yeah, she's gonna want to blow that cat.
Yeah.
And then she again in the bath scene, she wants to try and blow that cat.
Yes, they do, and they discuss crossbreeding, interspecies relationships, and where the elf girl explicitly says that she wants to get fucked by the cat.
But then someone brings up, I can't remember who, is like, oh, he's too young to fuck. Which makes it so, like, what?
It does. And here lies the crux of the thing. So we had a thoughtful discussion about how this story is decently written. And then we go into this fucking scene where they discuss having interspecies sex with a kitty cat.
Mm-hmm. And you can please discuss this in the comments. Is it wrong for a cat girl to want to fuck an actual male cat? I don't know.
I will say yes.
The thing is, yes, normally I would say that's bestiality, but because she's already part cat, isn't she kind of just like... I'm not agreeing. I'm not trying to say it's perfectly okay to fuck cats. No, it's not. That's horrible. But I'm just saying, in the context of this fantasy anime world where humanoid cats or cat humans or whatever you want to call cat girls, is it because they're already a cat? Like you brought up Felicia from Darkstalkers. They've been around.
Yeah.
So I'm sure other people have had these thoughts. But anyways, that's a thing for the that's food for thought for the comments.
That's for another discussion because it's a whole can of worms.
We'll circle back to this one day. One day. But this is not the day. This is definitely Beheneko's day.
If we actually do get comments, we'll see. Maybe we'll touch upon this one day.
Yeah, and please chime in. We'd like to hear more opinions because this is weird degeneracy. But and then so everyone basically the story keeps going along that they'll meet new people, new wanderers, new skill set, new cute girls. They'll have a bath scene. They'll all be smitten how cute the cat is, and he is a cute cat.
Yeah,
very cute.
And there's explicit nudity and everything.
There's very nudity. There's nipples, big tits. I didn't know that they censored the bag still. Like I was like, what?
Yeah, apparently they're doing all this, but the vagina's too.
Her vagina's too much, even though it's all you gotta do is do that thing where they cross their legs and you don't see anything. But I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not the artist.
But
more.
There's a lot of things we haven't touched upon, like the dragon girl. And that's
which dragon girl?
The dragon girl.
Oh, the crazy one?
Yeah. That just rounds it up another level. But
it really does.
I think it's... we want to keep it a little short. That's going to definitely expand a lot more.
Yes.
But let's touch upon what we alluded to earlier, episode 6.
Oh, fuck. God damn.
So I was like, okay, I was already tolerating all this fucking insanity to begin with.
Insanity's right.
Because it was at least amusing. I thought it was funny. It was shocking. That's why I like watching this kind of stuff. It's just, I find it amusing. And then they had the bat scene. And then earlier they found the fairy girl. The wood nymph or wood elf? Or what is it?
Nymph, I think.
Like a wood nymph. Who obviously looks like she's fucking a young little girl. She's like, what? Looks like 12 years old?
If even.
And then there's a little fairy that flies around her.
But the fairy looks like an actual grown woman.
Yeah.
Like she has curves and she actually has... She looks like a grown woman.
Well, Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, based.
Okay.
Tinkerbell was... I never thought she was like 10. I always thought she was...
But even that, it's a little weird. But they have the bat scene. And they have the wood nymph that looks like a 12-year-old.
Lolly. It's the lolly of
it. It's the whole lolly thing. Which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a fan of at all.
I'm not either.
And that was definitely my red line right there. Where I'm just like, nah, this is not cool at all. It's like, yeah, sure, you could say it's like, oh, well, he didn't draw the line with the fucking wanting to fuck kitty cat. But that's so fucking stupid and ridiculous that I just found that amusing. But showing the explicit nudity of like what's obviously looks like a 12-year-old, even though she's supposed to be like 1,000 years old.
She's a mythical creature.
It's a mythical creature. I'm just like, no, that's where I draw the line.
Hold on. So for my rebuttal, I gotta crack open a drink because, good lord. Hold on. This is fantastic. Shout out to whatever this drink is. Now, yeah, for me, I don't know what kind of anime fan I would be classified as, but I'm not a big fan of lollies. I know some people like them, even if there's no nudity involved. Mm-hmm. I was just like, that's kind of weird. But she's your 100,000-year-old great great grandma or something. But whatever. She looks like she's 10. She looks like your little sister. Okay, fine.
It's pretty gross.
It's not my deal. It's not my thing. And the character herself seems fine. Not very interesting. I didn't like her really that much, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But then getting to the bath scene, and then so in the bath scenes, we also have forgotten to mention that they always make, when there's like at least 3 girls present, they always hold down the elf girls and start just caressing her tits.
They fondle her.
They fondle her the crap out of her.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because the other girls have equally as big tits. Most of them.
It's fan service.
It's fan service. So they kind of hold her down, not malevolent, but they hold her down and they start grabbing her tits, and then she's like, ooh, or whatever. And then it's like, yeah. But then in this scene, the same thing happens, and doesn't the lolly looking nymph like come behind and like grab her tits and start squeezing? It looks like she's in a full Nelson her.
Yeah, it's full on explicit.
It's kind of explicit, and I'm just like, it just like I was fine with all the other grown women, even the pixie who looks like a grown. I was fine with that, but the lolly thing really threw me, and that's what really turned not me off to it. Like, yeah, I guess turned me off to it.
Before it was just like a what the fuck kind of thing that we're watching, but we were having fun with it.
It was like cheap, lewd fun.
Yeah.
Entertainment. And the lolly just kind of really took me. I was like, I couldn't enjoy it. Yeah, they were being silly and fondling each other, whatever, that's fine. They're being crazy and crazy anime girls. But that just took me out of it, and I was not a fan. And that's the part that I'm hesitant to keep continuing watching. Yeah. Because if they really do have a bath scene every episode, are we going to get 6 more episodes of lolly tits out?
Yeah.
And I didn't like that at all.
Or is this fucking, the little girl's going to want to fuck the cat?
And she's gonna fuck the cat, and they're like, they already think the cat is cute, and they like him because he's brave and he's a warrior, and they think he's a good character, but then they endear to him. Yeah, fine. Yeah. But then it's a difference between liking the cat and wanting to like rub his belly versus wanting to suck him off. And it's a huge difference.
And I understand that in Japanese media, it's a lot more acceptable. But doesn't mean I have to fucking accept that shit.
No, every single fan will have a different. Oh my god, it's good. Every single fan will have a different taste, and I just did. This wasn't riding good with me. Like, I didn't like it. Yeah. And I'm all for. And real quick, I'm all for the elf girl, the cat girl, the reincarnated dragon girl. They're all grown ass women in their like 20s.
Yeah.
They look like 20. Yeah. Whatever. And it's fine. They're doing their warriors and their adventures and their dragons and they're fondling big... Fine. Whatever. But when it comes to this, I don't care if she's a 1,000-year-old mythical creature. It didn't sit right with me.
It's a goddamn loophole. That's what that is.
Yeah, and it definitely did sour me on that. If you're okay with it, more power to you. Bon voyage. But for me, as a more, I guess, typical casual anime viewer, which I do.
As a normal guy.
A normal guy, and also I don't lean into like fantasy and isekai as much. I kind of lean towards different genres in anime, most notably for me, sports, stuff like that. Shout out to Haikyuu and Hajime no Ippo. But it just like, whoa, like is this typical? It caught me off guard. Like the other ones were shock value for laughter. Like, oh, they're fondling tits. Oh, look, the dragon girl's crazy. Yeah. Whatever. This was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like I was okay with stopping here because I was not. It took me out of it.
Yeah, it took me out of it too. I'm just like, no, this just feels gross.
Yeah. So as a kind of a talking about the first half of this, because we know there's 12 episodes. Speaking of the first half, there was a lot of cheap entertainment there, and not trying to degrade it. Just like it wasn't necessarily deep. It wasn't talking about.
It knew what it was.
Yes, it knew what it was. There are some animes that really make you think and like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you have to sit down after you watch an episode or the end, and you're like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
This, what did I just watch? Because there's cat fuckery in it.
Yeah, you go in there knowing what you're going to get into once you see the first episode.
This is not philosophical. This is not going to blow your mind. This is going to, like, make you think, what the fuck? Why do they want to fuck this cat?
This is campy smut.
Campy smut.
Up until episode 6.
Catty smut.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess we've been going on for a bit now.
A little bit.
Alright, I think we should wrap it up. So
we can wrap it
any
up.
final thoughts, Marvin?
Like I said, I think there's some good things. I like some of the character designs and the characters themselves. The world is pretty basic, and I was entertained. Even up until episode 6. Like I said, if you're fine with that type of stuff, okay, I think you might actually enjoy this. There might be some actual value for some fans out there, but for other fans, I might actually I might watch a little bit more of this, but I'm not really as intrigued as I was in the beginning. The novelty and the interest kind of did start to wear off as I progressed.
Yeah, same. I'll have to agree with you. As every episode went on, it progressed a little story that it had going on, but it obviously revolved around trying to get to the bath scene
and the cat.
And definitely episode 6 kind of made me go, nah, probably will not continue this because I'm not really all in for that.
Yeah.
But for an average anime fan, I probably wouldn't recommend this. This is definitely for people who like that kind of stuff or just like watching weird stuff like I do. Just trying to find interesting media. But overall, I do not regret watching those 6 episodes. I had a good time. I had some good laughs. I had some good what the fuck moments. A lot of what the fuck moments. But yeah, I definitely don't regret watching this. If this catches your interest, I say give it a look. If you're a normal casual fan, probably stay away from this.
Just so you're aware of what you're going into. Like you don't want to think this is
I think at this point,
I hope so. Because I don't want to it's a cute cat and a fantasy, and then there's cat fucking or cat lust in the first in the end of the episode. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be a total 180. And, just know what you're walking into. Yeah. Like I said, I kind of that's what it was, and then. I think that's all I got to say because I can't say cat fuckery too much.
Which is the whole premise of this damn show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. If you guys listen to the end, thanks for listening. This is Christian.
This is Marvin.
And we are out. Thank you.
Keep it real.
Oh, yeah.